As the crisis in the Red Sea deepens, exporters are wondering how to get their goods to market. Iran-backed Houthi militants in Yemen have stepped up attacks on vessels in the area in recent weeks. That's to show support for Hamas during Israel's military offensive in Gaza. The attacks have disrupted a key trade route linking Europe and North America with Asia via the Suez Canal. It accounts for about 10% of global GDP. Now major shippers including Maersk are sending their vessels around South Africa instead, a safer but much longer route. That has exporters scrambling for alternative air, land or ocean options. One German freight firm said customers were looking at so-called intermodal routes. For example, ship part of the way, then plane for the final leg. But air cargo capacity is limited and it costs many times more than shipping by sea. Analysts at S&P Global say that leaves major retailers like Walmart and IKEA looking vulnerable to disruption. The crisis doesn't look set to ease anytime soon. On Wednesday, the leader of Yemen's Houthis warned that they would attack any US warships that attempted to intervene.
We
will not stand idly by if the Americans attempted to escalate further and commit foolishness by targeting our country or waging war against it. Any American targeting of our country will be targeted by us. And we will make American warships, interests, and navigation a target for our missiles, drones, and military operations.
Washington has promised to establish an international naval task force to protect merchant vessels. But shipping firms say they are in the dark over when or how the force will operate. Meanwhile, they've started hiking fees for cargoes passing through the Red Sea area. United Nations trade expert Jan Hoffman says it all spells trouble for consumers, albeit not immediately.
So if you have systematically higher shipping costs for manufactured goods, the consumer goods that you and I buy in the shop, it takes many months to really translate into higher prices. But it will come.
The extent of the impact will depend on how long the disruption lasts. One US-based shipping firm told Reuters it was advising clients to prepare for at least 90 days of trouble.
Everything that can be done must be done to get aid into Gaza to help people in the desperate situation that they're in. And on that level, we've been talking about the United Nations Security Council resolution, where we are very keen to see consensus arrived at, so that Security Council resolution, which is really all about aid and the delivery of aid and the need to upscale the aid and the need for it to get through in far bigger numbers, though that can go through. Talks continue and Britain will do what it can to try and build that consensus in New York at the Security Council. And I think the most important aspect of that in the immediate term is this issue of aid, and we are pushing very hard, as I have done from day one in this job, to make sure that Kerem Shalom is properly open for trucks to go in with aid to help people in Gaza. Yesterday I was in Jordan where I saw the aid being loaded up. That now is coming from Jordan into the West Bank, into Israel, into Kerem Shalom, and we need to see that grow. That is a good route for more aid, and it's vital that we see that succeed. We had good discussions on the dangers in the Red Sea of threats to ships. It is absolutely essential that those maritime corridors, that the free movement of ships, of goods, of manufacturers, of oil, of world trade, that they keep going. It will be damaging to Egypt, it will be damaging to Britain, damaging to the whole world if there are these repeated attacks on shipping. That is what Operation Prosperity Guardian is all about, and Britain is proud to take part in that with British ships trying to help keep those sea lanes open, and we really must see an end to these threats. We confirm Britain does support the two-state solution. Obviously, we have to ask ourselves how we're going to get from where we are today towards that solution. I think one of the first things to say is it's very important that things aren't done now that make it impossible. And so we've been very clear with Israel. There can be no permanent occupation of Gaza, no displacement of people from Gaza, no diminution of the size of the Palestinian territories. All of those things would be wrong, and we've made that very clear. Obviously, it is difficult to get from where we are now to where we want to be, but sometimes you have to use moments of crisis as potential moments of opportunity. And I think there is a connection between the things that we will all need to do after this conflict is over to provide security and stability and services in Gaza, a link to how the Palestinian Authority is reformed and revitalized, and a link to the vision of a two-state solution of Israel and Palestine living next door to each other. All these things are connected.
This is the moment.